Hey everyone, my name is Kyle, better known as Tawlest, and today I'm going to be teaching you how you can edit your Twitch clips into something that is much more entertaining, how to optimize them to perform well on different social medias, and how to easily post them onto 5 different social media platforms. I find introductions to be boring, so let's get straight into it. We're going to be doing this using my favorite video editing software, which is DaVinci Resolve. It's completely free, so head on over to blackmagicdesign.com, scroll down to the bottom, and download the free version. Once you've got it downloaded, open it up and follow along. You'll first want to download the clip that we're going to be editing. Head to Twitch, click your profile in the top right, and select Video Producer from the dropdown. On the left-hand side, select Clips. Click Clips from my channel, and you'll be able to see all of the clips that anyone has ever made of your channel. Find the one that you'd like, and click the download button. For today's example, I'm going to be using a clip from a good friend of mine, Bionic Pig, who is an absolutely amazing creator here on Twitch and on YouTube, who you should definitely be checking out. I figured I wanted to get a clip that wasn't too funny, too amazing, but also wasn't like super boring, just something really middle of the road, you know, regular, that I feel like most people would have clips of in their streams. Since basically every moment in my stream is absolutely amazing over at twitch.tv/Tawlest, I felt like it would be pretty unfair to use something of my own. So that's why we're going to be using his clip today. Now, once your project starts, you're going to be met with the cut page, and this is where you can add your video to the project. Now, you can add it directly into the media pool, or you can add it directly to the timeline, which is what I usually do. Sometimes you might get this pop-up saying that they have a different frame rate from the current project settings. Usually, you can just click change, and that's going to match everything up. Now, the last thing you'll want to do before we get into the regular editing is you're going to want to change this into a vertical format, which is going to be compatible with things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, all the short-form content. So in the top right corner, you're going to click this drop-down, and you are going to click Portrait, or 1080 by 1920. It's going to change your video to look like this. Now, once you've done that, we're going to get into the fun part. So go down here and click the Edit tab. Now, your Edit tab may look a little bit different when you first open it. Your Edit tab might look something a little bit more like this. If that's the case, just click Inspector in the top right, Media Pool, and Effects Library in the top left. And now you should look pretty similar to what I have here. Hover over your video preview and using your mouse wheel, zoom in so that you can get everything to fit your screen and can actually see what you're working with. Now, the very first step to editing any video is to figure out which parts you want to highlight and which parts you want to cut out. With short-form content, most people have an attention span of about 1 to 1.5 seconds. So if you don't get their attention within that very, very short time frame, they're going to scroll past your video. So keeping in mind getting people's attention right away and keeping it quick and to the point, let's watch through the clip and figure out what we're going to want to change about it.
Don't. Did I just get baited by a ball?
Alright, so a pretty basic clip. Elden Ring, falling, dying, getting angry about it, yelling a little bit, and then joking about it to your chat. Those are all of the elements that we want to highlight. But which parts do we want to cut out? Well, right at the beginning, I'm sure you noticed there is, how long is this? About 2 full seconds of quiet. We want to cut out that quiet part. We want to get right into the meat of the video, which is right when he starts yelling at this thing, don't, right? So what we're going to do is cut out that quiet part. Now, to do that, you're going to select your blade tool. The keybind for that is B, and you're going to click on the timeline where you want to make that cut, which is right here before he starts talking. So click. And we're going to go back to our selection tool. The keybind for that is A. And we're going to select the part of the video we want to get rid of, and you can right-click it and hit Cut or Delete Selected, or you can just press Delete on your keyboard. Now, as soon as the video starts,
Don't.
we're right into it. A little bit better. And we're going to add some special effects to really make that pop out. So let's go through the rest of the video and cut out any quiet parts that we don't want to keep. One key thing, you'll notice that there's a lot of silence through here, right? Now, we do want to keep part of that because we want to keep his reaction. That's the really funny part, is seeing him being upset about having died in his game, right? So we'll watch through just this little part here. And I would say right about there is where we want to cut it, right? So cut, and we'll skip over to right before he starts talking again. We'll cut there and delete that empty bit. So we do have some silence. Sometimes silence can work for you, especially if you really play it up. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But we're just getting his reaction. After cutting out the parts of the video that we didn't like, we've really shortened it up. It originally was about 14 seconds long, now we're at about 8, so we've cut it almost in half. Now, let's get into adding the special effects to make this much more interesting and really make it pop. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I want to add subtitles and other things. Now, some people get really, really anal about not having the black bars along the top and the bottom. They don't affect performance. I've got a lot of experience with this. I do social media management, actually for Bionic Pig, and a couple of other people for their TikTok pages. Within, 60 days, I think I got like 81, 82 million views and about 500,000 followers across the different accounts I was running. It doesn't affect it. It really doesn't, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to teach you a really scuffed but easy trick to keep those black bars there so that when you're zooming in and out, it isn't going to make everything weird. So in your effects library, you are going to click generators, and you are going to click solid color, and you're going to drag it onto the timeline above your video. Now, you're going to see your video disappear. Don't worry. What we're going to do is go over to the transform under the inspector window, and we are going to move the Y value up under position. You're going to see your video start to reveal itself, right? And that's because there's basically just this big black box that we're moving up and down. So we are going to drag it up. We're going to zoom in. And clicking in my mouse wheel, I'm going to drag up so I can move along. And we're just going to line it up with the actual top of the video. You can tell when it stops moving that you're there. And just put it right there. See how it's not going above where that little black box is that we just set? But we didn't put one on the bottom. See how it's just going to kind of spill out and be weird? If we start having weird zooms, you're going to have the video going like this, and like that, and like that, and like this. It's going to be really distracting and annoying. So I find it a lot easier to just do these, and it helps. So we're going to click that solid color generator. We're going to drag it all the way to the end of the video so it's there. We're going to copy it. And now this is a special video editing move I'm going to show you. We're going to drag it up, making a new track. And now we're going to paste it. And it'll paste back to the track it was originally on. So now we've made a second solid color generator. And this time, we're just going to move it down along the Y-axis under position in the inspector window. And just do the exact same thing, but towards the bottom, like that. I really want to highlight him going, don't, you know, yelling at it. So I think the best way to do that is to add more emphasis. So let's watch through it.
Don't.
Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cut to the video in between each time he yells, don't. All right? And now, for each time that he yells it, we're going to zoom in a little bit more. So the first one, the zoom's just going to be 1.0, which is normal. But then, for the second one, we're going to zoom it in a little bit. We'll say 1.1. And this one, we'll go 1.2. All right, so now let's watch through it.
Don't.
Okay, we're getting a little bit more emphasis. We're also losing the subject, though, as we zoom in. So we're going to go back to this one, and we're going to change the position of the video just like that, so that we're still focused on the character, because that's the main focus, right? Do it again in this one. Okay, so now we'll zoom out and...
Don't.
Okay, we've added a little bit of emphasis. When we go back and add subtitles, that's going to make it even more interesting. So, next, how do we want to follow along with this part? Him attacking and missing, all right? So we could just keep it as it is, and it'll just look like this.
Don't.
And that is pretty funny, but I really want to highlight him missing this really basic, easy-to-kill enemy. I know I'm going to hear about this from him in the DMs or on Twitter, because he's going to see this video and see me mocking him and him playing Elden Ring, even though I'm also bad at it, but that's half the fun. So, what I want to do is do some keyframing, following along with his character as he misses and falls and dies. So we're going to first zoom in and get the position on his character where we want it, right about here, okay? And now, we're going to click this little diamond, and that's going to make a keyframe. We're going to use the arrow keys on our keyboard to go ahead a couple of frames, and we're going to change the position, and just focus on keeping his character centered in the middle of the screen. So see how he's going down here? So we're going to follow him down, just like that. Move ahead a couple more frames. Oh, he's over here now. Move down. Keep him centered. Keep going. Keep him centered. Down a little bit more. Right? And he's going this way now. See now, oh, the video is moving, so that's where he cuts out at the bottom of the screen. Right? Just gonna do that. And now, okay, there's nothing. So now what are we going to do? Now we're going to cut the video right here. With a B, click, done. Because now he's fallen. So now, for this next part, what we're going to do is we are going to make sure we uncheck this keyframe. And we are just going to change the position over so that we can see Mr. Bionic Pig here. We're going to zoom in a little bit more, all using the inspector window. Get him centered so that we can see him and his reaction to having just fallen off of the map in Elden Ring after trying to kill an enemy that literally doesn't even attack you. And now if we go back and watch this, now we see, oh, he misses, and now he's upset about it.
Did I just get...
Right? In fact, actually, looking back through this, I think I want to cut this again here. I don't need all that silence. Just like that. And it's that easy. You can make changes just like that, and just make sure that everything ends at the same time so your video isn't kind of weird and has empty black spaces. So now if we go back and watch this video from start to finish, now take a look. It's starting to come together.
Did I just get baited by a ball?
Now, really all that we need to add to this is some subtitles and maybe a funny effect, and we're done. So let's focus on the effect first. So when he dies, whenever you're playing Elden Ring or any Souls game, it always says you died across the top of the screen. And that's hilarious. But we can't see it here because we're zoomed in on him. So I have actually gone and downloaded the You Died effect. So let me go ahead and pull that up. We're going to drag that directly onto the timeline. We're going to drag it up so it's not taking up anything. And if we click it, very loud, very loud. We're going to cut out the sound entirely since the sound's already in the game.
Did I just get baited?
So now you'll notice that we have this big green background. Well, all we need to do is chroma key that out. So I like to just Control S, save my work, because sometimes Resolve likes to crash on you and make you sad. Now we're going to select the clip that we're going to be changing. We're going to click this little magic wand to go into the Fusion tab. All right. The Fusion tab is one of the most complex and very in-depth tools that DaVinci Resolve has to offer. And quite frankly, it scares me. But this is a very easy trick, all right? Click Media in 1. Press Shift and Space. It's going to bring up this menu. Type in Delta. Click Delta key here. Hit Add. This is basically a chroma key. You're going to go to background color. Click the eyedropper. Oh, drag the eyedropper onto the green. Let go. Don't do anything else. Don't, okay? Don't do it. If you guys want to learn how to use this better, go check out Patrick Sterling on YouTube, all right? He is amazing with this. This scares me. I don't mess with this. Go back into your Edit tab, and you'll notice now it's got a black background. You're going to go over where you want it, and you are going to drag it onto the screen. So now, I'd say right about here.
Did I?
Now, it is kind of in the way, so we can just change the position, drag it up a little bit, right? And then we want to make sure that it ends right there. So instead of cutting it, you can actually just zoom out, go to the end, and drag it in right there. Now we add the subtitles, and that's a clip. That's a clip done. So you're going to click Titles from the toolbox on the left, and we're going to use Text Plus. I'm actually going to show you something real special. I think, who is it? Like Tommy Innit does something like this, where we're going to add just a really basic little animation to it, all right? So I want to shorten this up because since we're manually subtitling this, you really want to keep them very short because you're going to have to fill in a lot of words most of the time. So what we're going to do is just put it at like 0.7 seconds. It's very short, and you can adjust it as you need. All right, you're going to change the font to whatever you want to use. I like to use a custom font that I downloaded, and to get those into Resolve, you just need to add them to your computer. You can find YouTube tutorials for it all the time. It's really easy to do. I like to use the bold font, and as far as the style and everything else, keep it bold. I like the color to be white, and then for video, we're just going to move it right up here, okay? And you can use the zoom to change the size of it. All right. So here's the very basic animation we're going to add. And again, it's just using keyframes, okay? So it's going to have a keyframe right at the start. We're going to move forward 2 frames. We're going to move it down just a little bit like that, okay? We're going to move forward 2 more frames and pop it back up where we actually want it. About there. And now, See how it just drops in?
Don't.
It's a little thing. It seems so unimportant, but it's just that little bit of spice that gets people attention. I don't know why they like it so much. They just do. We're simple beings, right? And a lot of people like to have colored outlines to their text. If you want to do that, you can go into the Fusion tab underneath the Text Plus for Inspector. You're going to click this little paintbrush. You're going to hit Select Element, go down to 2, hit Enable. You're going to pick a color through here, and you can just change the thickness there and give it some color. Maybe for this, we'll go with like a blue, something like that. I usually don't do this, but some people like to. And then you can just click the text tab again. Then you can change what it says, right? So for this one, he is yelling, don't. So, right, don't. Okay, simple as that. And now we are going to copy this, Control-C, right? We're going to go into video, and we're going to make it just a little bit smaller because we're going to make it a little bit bigger every time he yells it to add more emphasis, right? And, oh, okay, well, this doesn't fit the clip. We're going to drag it to be a little bit longer. We'll go into video, and this one is already a bit bigger. All right, so
don't.
See that? See how it's already starting to come together? My camera's cutting out. My camera's cutting out. Ignore it. I can't afford a good camera right now. Feel free to subscribe to me on Twitch to help me get a better one. And now if you look through it.
Don't.
See? Just that little bit.
Don't.
And now we can go over to the end here. My camera has cut out once again. And we're going to add subtitles again. But now this time, it's going to just say whatever he is saying. I think my camera is fully giving up, so I'm just going to turn it off. Sorry about that. Where he says...
Did I just get baited by a ball?
Okay, so we'll have... Did I just... And that's it. It's literally, it's that simple. Now we're going to watch through the whole video again.
Don't. Did I just get baited by a ball?
And if we want, we can even do one last little step here and zoom it in so we can actually just see him talking, because I just realized we can't really see him very well. Right? Zoom it in a bit. Like that. And now if we watch it.
Did I just get baited by a ball?
There we go. Much better. Control-S to save it. And now I'm going to show you how to export these videos. Maybe it's a good thing my camera's off, because I think it was going to be in the way for this. So what you're going to do is you're going to see this very scary screen after you click the rocket down at the bottom, which is the deliver page. You're going to click YouTube. You're going to name the file whatever you want. So for this, I'm just going to call it Bionic Falls Elden Ring. Right? Pick a place to save it. Change the resolution again. You're going to click Custom, and you're going to type 1080 by 1920. That's your vertical video. If you don't do this, your video is not going to export with the proper size, and you're not going to be able to upload it on TikTok and other things. Keep the frame rate at whatever it is. It might be 24, it might be 30, it might be 60. Just keep it, and change the format to MP4. Your video codec is going to be H.264. Audio is main one stereo. Audio codec AAC, same as project. And don't check directly upload to YouTube. You're going to add it to your render queue. Then start render. Your computer might take a little bit longer to render, but don't worry. Once it's done, you'll be all set. You can right-click it, hit Open File Location, double-click it, and play it.
Don't. Did I just get baited by a ball?
Video, just like that. I've edited your full video, and it is done. It took you maybe 10, 15 minutes. What do you do from here? Go ahead and upload it onto all of your different social media platforms. I have a video that I just made that's actually talking about that right here, which I recommend checking out, and it's telling you exactly why you should be taking less time streaming and taking more time editing videos to post on Twitter, TikTok, Hover, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. I remembered all of them this time. I didn't the first time I recorded that, so I'm pretty happy with myself. Thank you for watching, and as always, my friends, have a good one.